Another day, another free agent signing for the Bulls. Actually, technically another sign and trade for the Bulls. This time for an all-star. I'm Ross, this is Arturis Fan Club, and bro, I just recorded a 15-minute video breaking down how DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, and Alex Caruso are going to help turn Zach LaVine into an MVP candidate. I want you to watch the video, but you gotta join the Super Fan Club first. $4.99 a month, exclusive videos, early access to videos. I'm breaking down tape, which I can't do here on the main channel. I can't do that because I get copyright striked, but on the Super Fan Club, I can do that. $4.99 a month, I can do that. And that support goes directly to me. That money goes directly to me. It helps me make these videos. Anything that I get out of it, I put right back into it. So if you want to check out that video, please consider joining the Super Fan Club. You will not be disappointed. The content is prime. So, breaking it back down to the base level, DeMar DeRozan is a Chicago Bull, as well as Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso, the aforementioned. We are waiting to hear what is going on with Lauri Markkanen. We still need to address the front court depth. We still need to address the backup center position and possibly a little bit more wing depth. Though I feel like the wing depth thing is being a little bit blown out of proportion considering Trey Brown Jr. still exists. And Trey Brown Jr. was fantastic for us last season before he got hurt. So the wing depth thing I feel like is being maybe blown a little bit out of proportion. Like if we get a backup center, I'm feeling very good about our free agency. Like we get a backup center, I'm going all in on the playoff push. I'm feeling great about that. So let's break down the DeMar DeRozan sign and trade. The Bulls send a protected first round pick. I believe the protections go 10th overall first year, 8th overall next year, and then 8th overall the third year, which basically means like if it doesn't convey on the first, you go to the second. If it doesn't convey on the second, it goes to the third. I'm not quite sure what happens after that, but that's the way the protections work. That's why there's multiple protections on the picks, because sometimes they don't convey. But a protected first, I think 2 second-round picks, the contract of Al-Farouq Aminu, and unfortunately the contract of Thaddeus Young. Thaddeus Young, who was great for us and leaves a hole certainly in our defense and in our offense. We are going to try to find something that can replicate what Thaddeus Young gave to us as a very switchable small ball 5. Very good passer from the point forward position and rim protection ability even at his height. Patrick Williams is slated to slide into that 4 slot, which I feel great about. I project Patrick Williams as more of a 4 throughout his career. I think he has the chops to one day be a rim protector. Patrick Williams, who is very lengthy, has great length, long arms, has shown flashes of rim protection ability. Shout out to that block on DeAndre Ayton last season, the block steal. So Patrick Williams, definitely a good opportunity for him to take the next step in his career. There's a lot riding on a guy who's going to be 20 years old next season, so high expectations for him. But, we still have Troy Brown Jr. waiting in the wings. We still have Kobe White from the guard position. We still haven't seen Ayo Dosunmu yet, who by all accounts could be a very, very prominent player on this rotation. He has switchability. We've talked about Ayo Dosunmu. You guys remember me talking about his length, his switchability, his defense. So we have plenty of guys to move around here. And let's not forget that Lonzo Ball can also play more of a wing position if you want to bring in Alex Caruso at the point guard position and slide Lonzo over to the 3 or the 2, whatever works with Zach LaVine. Let's not rule that out of the realm of possibility either. So, I'd love to bring in a guy like Danny Green, an additional 3-and-D scorer, a guy who has won championships before. We need more of that championship DNA. I'd love to bring in more players who have played in the finals. We need that kind of experience on this team. DeMar DeRozan brings a lot of playoff experience. And let's talk about him for a second. Like I said, on the Super Fan Club episode, I broke down his tape. I talked in depth about what his game will do for Zach LaVine, but some high level stuff here. DeMar DeRozan is still a very good half court scorer, very athletic. He's got a great turnaround J. He's got great mid-range pull-up jumper. Can get to the rack, draw fouls. Going to take a lot of the burden off of Zach LaVine. And then, obviously the passing ability between him and Lonzo Ball. tossing lobs to Zach or Vooch, getting them open at the 3-point line. Just so many different opportunities to score. Defensively, things will be a little bit limited, but I like the idea, like I said, of maybe mid-game staggering those DeRozan minutes to make sure he's always on the court with maybe Patrick Williams or maybe Alex Caruso or whoever it is, or Lonzo Ball, so that he's always on the court with someone who can play defense against the opposing team's best player. Because, you know, DeRozan's defense definitely isn't good. I'm not going to lie, but some people were concerned about the cost. DeRozan is going to be getting $28 million annually for 3 years from the Bulls. Now, the contract, I suppose you could argue, maybe was a little bit of an overpay. I think when I talked about paying DeRozan, if you guys remember here on Arturis Fan Club, back on May 11th of 2021, I proposed the Lonzo Ball, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, Patrick Williams, Nikola Vucevic death squad lineup. So I kind of called this. I had this in my back pocket, and I'll pat myself on the back a little bit for calling that. But I think I had him around like $20 million annually. So definitely a little bit more than maybe I had expected. But when it comes to the draft capital given up to get DeMar DeRozan, you just had to, right? Unless you wanted to give up Kobe White too, you just had to. You had to give up the draft capital. This is a sign and trade. This is the cost of doing business. My guy Mark MK Hoops on Twitter broke it down. He had a really good thread about why the Bulls had to give up so much to get DeMar DeRozan. But basically what it boils down to is the ability to sign him outright was not there for us. We didn't have the ability to go in and offer him $28 million annually right off the bat. We had to execute the sign and trade. And in order to make that worth the San Antonio Spurs while, we had to include assets. Okay? Obviously, we had to salary match. That's why we included Al-Farouq Aminu. That's why Thaddeus Young had to go. But on top of that, we had to give away picks in order to not gut the rest of the roster, and in order to take him on into the roster. So that I understand the concern about giving up draft capital. I'm fine with it, honestly. Like, you want to be a good team. You want to be a great team, actually. Did you see great teams picking in the top 10 on draft night last week? No, you don't see great teams picking in the top 10 of the draft. Okay? If we're still picking in the top 10 of the draft, we have a serious problem after making all of these moves. So the second rounders, it is what it is. I know AK loves the second rounders. Honestly, a little bit more upset about the second rounders than I am about the first. I know that sounds silly, but you fill out the margins with those second rounders. We can't sit around waiting to develop 19-year-olds anymore. The window is open. Okay? Arturis opened the window. That's what we did this offseason. Guys, we are talking about instant playoff contenders. Yes, we still need to work on some front court depth, but right now, the way the Bulls are comprised today, August 3rd, as I talk to you, the Chicago Bulls are instant playoff contenders, are instant contenders for a top 5 seed in the Eastern Conference. Okay? And we're not talking about a first round exit. I mean, maybe first year is a first round exit. I don't know. But expectations are high. We only have 3 players left on the roster that were acquired by Garpax. This is a complete overhaul. And I actually had an argument with with a reporter from The Athletic, one Darnell Mayberry, about this a long time ago. We had an argument that on Twitter, which was silly, but he was arguing that the Bulls couldn't improve this offseason because of the Vucevic trade, that it basically prevented us from making other moves to get better. I told him, look, we're going to get rid of the Garpax. I told him plainly, this is way before free agency. I told him plainly, we're going to get rid of the Garpax stink. The roster will be turned over, we will get new players, and we will be a better team. AK and Mark Eversley will navigate the salary cap. There are so many avenues to improve, and they did it. Okay? Once again, I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit because I tried to be the voice of reason, and nobody really wanted to listen to me for a while. And I understand that there was definitely PTSD from the Garpax era. I get it. But I am Arturis Fan Club for a reason. I have a bias, obviously. But you guys know me. I don't come here to bullshit you. I come here to tell you guys the truth as I see it, the truth through my eyes. And I have always I have always believed that this was possible. I didn't think it would happen so quickly and so rapidly. The pace at which all of these moves were made turned heads and has turned the spotlight back on Chicago from the national perspective, which is awesome. We deserve it. We've been through the mud. So yeah, I'll pat myself on the back a little bit and say, I did kind of tell you so. But maybe that just gives me a little bit more credibility. I'll take my credibility. I'll take it. Because I've been preaching this. We have come a long way here at the Arturis Fan Club. Something that started as memes has grown into something way more. And as always, I greatly appreciate your support. I got on a tangent there, but DeMar DeRozan will come in and provide us another all-star. That's what he'll do. He'll come in right off the bat and play like he's been there before. You know, Patrick Williams, as much as I am excited for his future, you know, he's still extremely young. There is still a timidness there. There is still a feeling out for the game there that we are not going to get from Lonzo Ball and DeMar DeRozan next season. You know, there's no Kobe White growing pains will be coming off the bench. And Kobe White should be better too. Going into another season, you know, obviously he's rehabbing right now. Kobe White should be better too. But the growing pains, you know, another full season under Billy Donovan. Nikola Vucevic coming off his best season as a pro so far. There are so many ways that this team can take a huge next step with DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball, Alex Caruso now joining the team. I am just so ecstatic. You guys, I love you. I love Bulls Nation. We deserve this. We have waited. We have argued. We have fought. We have drawn grand ideas in our heads about free agents and daydreamed about all these players we wanted. And guess what? We got them. It happened. We didn't just talk about it this time. It happened this time. This is not your Garpax this is not your grandpa's Garpax team. All right? Garpax wouldn't have done this. Garpax would have given Dwayne Wade a bag and Rajon Rondo a bag. This ain't Garpax. Totally different situation. DeMar DeRozan is not a washed up. Someone tried to compare it to the DeMar or the Dwayne Wade offseason to me. I'm like, nah, man, this is totally different. Like, Dwayne Wade was actually washed. I know he actually had an okay season with us, but like Dwayne Wade was like actually at the end of his career. DeMar DeRozan is nowhere near the end of his career. He has a lot left in the tank, and hopefully a lot left to give the Chicago Bulls. And something that I wanted to keep in mind too, the perspective is that the guys who made these moves are not going anywhere. AK and Mark Eversley, which specific shout out to Mark Eversley, who drew upon his history scouting and drafting DeMar DeRozan when he was in the Raptors organization, drew on that relationship to help bring DeMar to Chicago. And that's why we hire these guys. You know, something that shouldn't get lost on you is the relationship that Arturis and Mark Eversley have with player agencies. Player agencies dictate so much of what goes on in the league. You know, Garpax, they didn't have friends in the player agency world, right? Like, no agent was saying, hey man, you really should go to Chicago, they'll treat you right. You know, we have Rich Paul, one of the top, probably the top agent in all of sports, telling Lonzo Ball, go to Chicago. You want to be in Chicago. They will treat you right. They will pay you and they will give you the role that you want. That is so important for our ability to bring in, you know, talented veterans on veteran minimum contracts. Their agency tells them, go to Chicago. They'll treat you right. We're bringing in DeMar DeRozan. Go to Chicago. They'll treat you right. So important. And my point here is that these guys are still in charge. Okay, if some of these moves don't work out, which might happen, man, it might happen. Some of these moves might not work out. That is the nature of the game. It's still a business at the end of the day. Sometimes business decisions don't pan out for all parties. That's the truth. I still have faith that these guys will continue to look for ways to improve the team. You know, if a guy like Kevin Durant becomes available, I'm sure they'll explore the ways that they could bring him onto the team. If a guy like Kawhi Leonard becomes available, I'm sure they'll look for ways to get him to Chicago. This is just the start. This is building a playoff contender so you can attract an A+ superstar. Okay? So we go to the playoffs, maybe we win a series, and we come back next offseason, and a player's agent is like, look at what they're doing in Chicago right now. You want to go there. They will treat you right. And you can win a ring there. You're what they're missing. That's the kind of shit guys like Kevin Durant love to hear. You're what they're missing. And that's my soapbox for tonight. That these moves, while maybe won't fix everything right away, have established a new culture in Chicago, have established new relationships throughout the league, and a new image as a team that is serious about winning. Right? We opened up the wallet. We opened up the pocketbook. We spent money like the third largest market in the NBA should spend money. And it feels great. And you should feel great. And shout out to Bulls Nation for sticking through the dark times, the ups and the downs. We earned this. So I'll leave it there. There's more to come. I have reason to believe that more moves are coming down the pipeline tomorrow. So I hope you guys get a very nice rest because we will be talking again very soon. If you have not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. If you love the Bulls, basketball, Chicago sports content in general, we are making videos every single day here on Arturo's Fan Club. We are doing live streams again. The live streams have been popping off. You guys are amazing showing out for the live streams. I've been trying to do those daily. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a video and a live stream every fucking day. Who knows, man? I love talking about the Bulls, and I love that you guys are here to do it with me. So thank you guys again. Join the Super Fan Club. Buy a shirt, arturosfanclub.com/shop. If you love what Arturos has done for your team, show it off in style. Thank you guys for being a part of the fan club, and we will talk very soon.